Hey there guys, it's your boy Yakris. We're back with some Trails of Cold Steel. Some things popped off last part. It got a little hectic, got crazy, and unfortunately Nord is on its way to being a damn war ground between the Republic and the Imperial. So, we gotta try to prevent that from happening. I don't know what we can do as students, but we're gonna try to figure something out. Maybe if we figure out what's actually going on behind everything, maybe it'll clear everything up. Not really sure. Let's talk to everyone first. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Doing alright. I lost some good friends last night. I'm still having trouble getting over it. Rowan might have been the hardest working soldier here. Can't believe he's just gone. Damn, RIP to Rowan. What about Zatz? Isn't he also dead? I mean, they were together. Please do what you can with your investigation. Why did they have to die? Very good question. Why does wait, is this Zatz? Oh, it is. He's still alive. How the hell did you live that point blank missile? I'm assuming Rowan saved your life somehow. What the hell? I for sure thought Zatz was dead. I can't even lie. I keep telling Zatz and Manning to get some rest, but they just won't listen. And say that I blame them though. They're the only ones who survived the attack without suffering major injuries after all. Okay, talk to these guys. We need to re-establish our surveillance of the Republican Army as soon as possible. From now on, we of the 3rd Armored Division will be stationed here to take over surveillance duties. First and foremost though, we need to get through an understanding of what's going on here. We need to focus all our vigilance toward the east. You have my permission to conduct your investigation and speak with my men, but stay out of their way as much as you can. Alright. We go down here and speak to this guy. Wait, what's... Oh, it's our horse. I was like, what the hell is back here? I'm from the 1st Engineer Squad of 3rd Armored Division. We brought a lot of tools and materials to help clear away the rubble, but you're welcome to use them if you want. I can sell you some of our materials or tune your ordnance too. Oh boy. If he's saying this, I guess we can expect there's going to be some sort of fight very soon. There's no way no way a random soldier tells you this. Come on now. Damage here is pretty severe. I can only assume it was caused by some kind of mortar. Perpetrators better not think they'll get off lightly attacking an Imperial Army facility like this. I don't think we really need to do anything. So I hope not. Alright, let's start this investigation. Rowan, why'd you go and die on me? Zatz. He seems pretty down. Can't say I don't understand how he feels though. It was right when the shifts changed. Rowan came out to relieve me and I was chattering away with him like always. Yep, And the crazy thing about this is I'm pretty sure you mentioned that you wanted to like get off a little bit earlier than your normal time. So realistically, you were still on the clock. It wasn't even his time yet. That's unfortunate, man. That's when the first shell hit us. Must have been around 3 in the morning. So it started around 3 then. It's good to know. Right in the middle of the night. I was on the lookout. I should have noticed something was off, but that explosion completely took me by surprise. I was so sure nothing would ever happen out here. When something actually did, I was totally useless. If I just paid a bit more attention, if I'd been a better soldier, Rowan might still be with us now. Well, you're in the wrong mindset. It's understandable after everything that's going on, but and this ain't the mindset you want at a time like this. It's a little too late for all of this. It's not your fault. None of us could have predicted that something like this could happen. You can hardly blame yourself for a lack of vigilance after being stationed in a peaceful area like this for so long. They attacked in the dead of the night, knowing your guard would be down. I wonder if it really was the Republican army's doing after all. We need more information before we can say for sure. No, I don't think it was them. There was something else that happened before we came under attack. We heard an explosion coming from the Republican Army's base. When we looked, we saw smoke pouring from it. Yep. Like they definitely got hit first. What? We knew that both bases were attacked, but did both attacks really happen around the same time? If that's so, it's unlikely that either army was responsible. Who is responsible then? We should keep this in mind as we piece things together. I was lucky enough to escape with barely a scratch. It wasn't really luck, it's because Rowan protected me with his life. I figured that was going to be the case. That's why I was asking. I'm like, how is he alive unless Rowan protected him? But even still, you get hit with something like that. Like, there's not really much you could do to save someone. Because that was point blank. Why, Rowan? I'll never be half the man you were. Why didn't you just save yourself? I don't know what to say. We should just focus on our investigation. That's all we can do for them right now. See what's over here. Oh, there it is. Huh? Is this? What's up, Alisa? Is there something unusual about the scrap of metal? I knew it. This is a mortar shell manufactured by the Reinford Company. Are you sure? Yeah, I've seen them before on the assembly line. I mean, there's no reason to doubt her. Something Reinford related. She's bound to know. There are only a couple of models capable of firing this kind of shell. That would suggest that the mortar used to fire it was also made by the Reinford Company. But if we assume that's true, it seems much less likely that the Republic was responsible. It's because they weren't. they were not the ones that pulled that little stunt last night. That's for sure. I don't know who the hell it was, but like I said, it's really hard to tell because we haven't came across anything else. Like no one else outside of the White Rabbit. But I don't think the White Rabbit has anything to do with it. You know, I could be mistaken. But the only people that come to mind to me personally, but like I said, we have not came across anyone else. But the people that fit the bill for this, or for something like this, is 100% the Imperial Liberation Front. The ones that's hired by Cayenne, Duke Cayenne. I think that was his name. True. Why would the Republican Army use a weapon made in the Empire? It doesn't make much sense to me. Even if we account for deception, it seems unlikely that Calvert would go this far to conceal their involvement. Though considering the stakes, we can't entirely rule out the possibility. Still, this might prove to be an important clue to solving this mystery. It'll be important, alright. Damn, man. Look at the top part of that tower. This is awful. It really is. It looks like they got hit hard. And to think there were casualties. You know the Imperial Army isn't going to sit and twiddle their thumbs after suffering an attack like this. They have their image to uphold after all. It's the same thing I was saying about Zex. Like, you can't really fault them for whatever action he decides to take because he has to do it. The position that he put in, you can't not act. Like, it's unfortunate. Like, I really feel for you guys and the people of Nord, because I'm with them. I'm nothing about peace and positivity with me. Hey, it looks like most of the damage is concentrated on the south side of the building. You think whoever carried out the attack could have done it from the highlands? It seems very likely. But where on the plains could they launch an attack like that from? Well, the highlands are incredibly vast. We'd need some kind of clue to even know where to start looking. Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to find something here that'll point us in the right direction. How's the situation with the Republic Army? Looks like they're really hustling over there. They've confirmed a number of armored vehicles entering and exiting the area. We've heard their base got hit pretty badly too. And even from over here, it sure looks that way. The Lieutenant General said that the Republican base got hit at least as hard as the Watchtower, if not harder. But we believe that they were responsible for that as well. They need an excuse to attack us, and that sure as hell looks like one. Man, you genuinely think they would go to this extent just for a lousy excuse to attack you? I don't know, man. I think you're forcing it with that one. Because those were some big ass damages that look like they we're suffering from.
Do you really think it's true? That much damage seems awfully excessive.
They probably just got overzealous with the explosives. I think you're just fooling yourself, or you want that to be the reason. Doesn't make much difference either way. If they're brazen enough to attack us, we'll blow them back across the border. The soldiers here all seem to have their doubts, but without any hard evidence, we're not going to be able to convince them of anything. We should reconsider the possibility that this was a deliberate act to sabotage by Calvert's forces.
I think that's all the info we can gather here.
I think so too. Now, we need to analyze what we've learned. First, we should establish a good picture of what was happening when the attack occurred.
That seems like the best place to start. So first of all, what time did the actual attack on the Watchtower happen?
The dude said it was around 3. 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. It was 3 a.m.
Yes, that's what the guard told us. But that wasn't all that was going on then.
That's right. The Republican Army's base also came under attack. And according to the Lieutenant General, they suffered even greater damage than what happened here.
I think we can safely discount the possibility that the Republican Army bombed their own forces then. But there's no evidence that the Imperial Army launched an attack either. All we know is that both attacks happened and both sides took heavy damage. However, as Alisa said, we have no evidence to suggest that either side was responsible.
If we accept that as a fact, the most likely scenario is that the responsibility lies with another party entirely. Yep, which is what I've been saying this whole time.
So you think?
A third party is working behind the scenes to provoke both countries into starting a war? Tensions between the Empire and the Republic are always high. But compared to the other areas of similar political value, the North Highlands have always been peaceful. I can conceive of no reason either country would have decided to break that peace last night.
I agree. If anything, it seems that the negatives would outweigh the positives for both parties. If this were Crossbell, it might be a different story, but here...
Oh, if this was Crossbell, I'm sick. This shit makes me sick. You guys not understand I was a Crossbellin not too long ago? I was a Crossbellin. I'm a shitty Erebonian. Let me stop.
Now that you mention it, we found something else odd about the attack on the Watchtower, didn't we?
We found something else odd about the attack? The direction of the attack, or are we talking about what was used? The mortar? What are we talking about here, Alisa?
Something that seems to point to a third party's involvement.
Something else odd about the attack on the Watchtower. I'll bet she's referring to this. The time it happened, the weapon that was used, the area that was damaged. He's probably talking about the weapon that was used. You're talking about the mortars used for the attack, right?
Exactly. It looks like the orbital mortars they used in the attack were an old Reinford model. And I, for one, find it pretty unlikely that the Republican Army is packing Erebonian-made weapons.
Indeed. They have little reason to be, considering the Republic has its own major orbital technology manufacturer. The Verne Company, as I recall. Hey, the Verne Company, huh? It's cool, like, get into here, about more of the companies. We've heard Vern Company before, obviously, but it's just cool, like hearing it again. Because I feel like this might be the first time that Vern Company has been brought up in this game specifically.
Yeah, the Vern Company is responsible for manufacturing most of the arms used by the Republican Army. Then there's the fact that the mortar used here is old. The Imperial Army hasn't used this model for years. I've heard that military surplus sometimes makes its way onto the black market and ends up in the hands of mercenaries. Knowing that, it seems unlikely that either army chose to use it to cover their tracks.
Quite. However, there is a far more pressing question we need to answer.
What do you mean?
I know where you're going. We need to know where the attack was launched from in the first place.
That's going to be difficult to work out.
But without that vital detail, all our speculation thus far is for naught. If we intend to avert a war, we need more than speculation. We need conclusive evidence. Agreed. But the highlands are far too vast to just strike out searching blindly. That's true. And we don't have much time. We gotta understand, we're on a time crunch here. And this place is big as hell. You'll waste all your time blindly just trying to look around. Especially with the Lieutenant General's deadline rapidly approaching.
Actually, we may not have to start our search blind.
Huh?
If Alisa and Gaius will lend me a hand, I may be able to help.
What are you gonna do, Emma?
Huh?
What do you have in mind?
If I can factor the location of the damage together with the speed and trajectory of the mortar shells, and then take into the account the highland winds, I may be able to estimate the area from which the mortar was fired.
No way! No way, Emma! Are you crazy? Be real, Emma. You're gonna use some sort of ability. There's no way in hell this girl... I couldn't even finish your sentence. That's how funny it is, Emma. You not realize how crazy that sounds? Is it just me, guys? Maybe I'm the crazy one. That sounds ridiculous.
Potentially, anyway.
Are you serious? It sounds easier said than done.
I'll do what I can. Are you familiar with the specifics of the shell that was used? I think so. It's an old model, but I should be able to give you some rough data. That should be plenty. Anyway, let's have another look at those damaged areas and start our calculations. Please, come with me, everyone.
Right. AP increased by 1. Oh, nice. But what is Emma about to do right now?
Alright, I think I've calculated a rough location. I believe the mortar was fired from a location to the south of here. Using the map as a reference point, that means it was likely launched from somewhere in this area.
Okay. Oh! Okay, if the stone circle is right there, I might have an idea where that is. But is that a location could we even get to that location?
And according to my calculations, the launch site shouldn't be too far from here.
Wow, I can't believe you managed to work that out. That's well beyond the level of mathematics we cover in class. I'll enjoy watching Regnus really sweat it out trying to best you on our next midterm. He had to take a shot at his boy Machias.
Just a little applied physics. I couldn't have done it without Alisa and Gaius' help. It looks like we've got a nice big piece of the puzzle right in our hands.
Sure seems like it. Let's take off and start looking. Right. Rean and the others reported their findings to the soldier in charge and asked them to relay the intel to Zinder Gate. Afterward, they set out on horseback to begin their search. Alright, let's start looking for where the mortar was actually fired from. If what Emma calculated is correct, it should have been fired from a point south of the Watchtower, and most likely from a point that's easy to overlook, so that it's not found out.
Let's see if we can find anywhere that fits that description. We'll likely need to rely on the map to help us. I wonder if the culprit could still be there.
Regardless, we should see what we can find. Alright.
Yeah.
Let's see here. There's the stone pillars are over that way. Oh, we got some chests. Oh, they marked it on the map. I thought we were gonna just have to find it. Alright then, I wasn't really expecting them to mark it on the map. I should have expected it. Just that seems normal. I don't know why I was over here feeling like I had to rack my brain and figure it out myself. We found EP charge 3.
Yeah.
Hey, I like that. Okay, let's get out of here. Whoa, what is that? At first I thought it was a cave or something. I'm like, what? Hey, over there.
You found something?
That looks like a ladder.
What's a rope ladder doing all the way up there?
That's what that's called? A rope ladder? I never knew that. I just thought it a ladder. I didn't know it was specifically called a rope ladder. I can hardly believe its presence here to be mere chance. Do the people of Nord use this area for anything? Not that I've ever known of.
It's just got that much more suspicious then. Perhaps the mortar was fired from somewhere up there.
It definitely seems worth a look. I'm just not sure how we're going to get up there. You can't reach that rope ladder from down here. I see no way to climb up the cliff face itself either. If you have any suggestions, now would be a fine time.
I believe I have an idea. What if we were able to make use of Alisa's orbital bow? My bow? How? Well, if you were able to hit the cord that's tying the rope ladder, perhaps it would unroll itself, allowing us to climb up. I'm glad you think that I'm that good of a shot, but I don't really see it working. It was just a thought.
Well, it's not like we have any better ideas. Why not give it a try? True enough, and time is one resource we don't have much of right now. Searching for some manner of tool to pull it down would cost us precious time as well.
I can't really argue with that. Alright, here goes nothing.
You can do it, Alisa. Best girl, best character. I gotta relax with the best girl when ಠಃLove exists. Oh, she's doing something. Yo, Emma's out here.
Here.
I didn't know she was gonna have a voice line. Yo, she is really using like real magic or something. Like, how is that possible? I mean, like I said, it's trail, so much shit is possible to blow your mind. But the real question is, where is she from? That's what I want to know. Where is she from? Because if we got some sort of idea where she was from, and maybe that's something unique to their, town or whatever the case may be. But right now, I don't know how to feel about this girl. That power is kind of crazy.
Wait, what? It actually worked?
You seem to have the makings of a great hunter. It seems this is the day for lucky shots. Damn, useless.
We'll have to start calling her Quick Draw Alisa.
Was I just imagining things, or did that arrow glow for a second? No, you weren't imagining things.
Well, now that we can reach the ladder, why don't we have a look on top of the cliff?
Yeah, let's see what's up there. Alright, Emma, you keep playing around too much. My boy Rean he gonna catch on.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
I was like, what the hell did I see? It was just a bird. Oh! Like we hit the jackpot. There. Exactly the smoking gun we were looking for too. Damn, 3 set up.
Well, old orbital mortars, all Reinford models too. And it looks like they've been used recently. So this is where they were hiding them?
I can see why they chose this place. Who would think to look here? They must have fled the area after firing them last night, leaving the launchers where they were. But unfortunately, these alone do not furnish enough evidence to avert the war. You're right, unfortunately. If we just had a bit more evidence.
Still, this is a solid step forward for our investigation.
Yeah, but how much time do we have?
Perhaps we should return to Zinder Gate and let the Lieutenant General know. That sounds like a good idea.
Alright, let's go report. Several orbital mortars manufactured by the Reinford Company have been set up.
I've made sure that they can't be fired again, so don't worry about that.
Right, let's go then. Okay, Alisa, my girl Alisa's out here. Yeah, I'm an Alisa stan, so what about it? You got a problem? Well, let me know who got a problem down in the comments. Where the Alisa haters at? We stop for like fucking a million of them come out of the woodwork. You guys stink. Characters goated. Uses is goated. Gaius is goated. Emma is sus. Rean is 8 leaves. There. Isn't that... What? Oh! The white rabbit. Was she spying on us?
It's that flying object we saw fleeing from Orc's fort near Bereahard.
There's no mistaking something that strange. It looks like it's carrying something. It can't be a coincidence that they showed up now of all times. They're heading northwest and we're going after them.
Right.
Saddle up.